Chapter 61. Beginning of the Buddhist Era. From the day the Buddha passed away, your group, with the support of Phaya Asoka and the wealthy people of Sri Vijaya city, began construction of the Chedi to enshrine the relics immediately. During that time, you also decided to build another place next to it as a symbol for something. This place had a rectangular-shaped spire with a wide base, built of brick and plastered with stucco in the shape of flowers, animals, and other local artisan styles. On all four sides, there were arched doorways where Buddha images were placed in the posture of the first sermon, but with legs hanging down, carved from white jade to convey purity. All four images faced the four directions. This spire had a glass wall and four entrances. To the east, outside the glass wall, there was another small, solitary spire. Inside, another Buddha image was enshrined, also with legs hanging down, but not in the posture of the first sermon. The hands were placed on both knees, and it was carved from dark green granite, facing the east entrance, as if waiting outside, to symbolize that this Buddha image was still an ordinary person, but was waiting to be born as the Buddha in the future. This place was about 1 kilometer south of Pra, Patham Chedi, the reason Mahathera. Akita decided to build this place was to symbolize that for Buddhas had been born in the world. The current Buddha, who was the fourth, had been born in the Suvane Bhumi land, and another Buddha, Phera, Areeya Metaya, was waiting to be born in the future. This was conveyed through the color of the stone, the posture, and the location of the Buddha image outside the wall. The Propatham, Chedi, and the spire enshrining the four Buddhas, along with the small spire outside the wall, took a total of 11 months to complete. The celebration was scheduled for the first day of the 5th month, which coincided with April 13th. Mahathera Akita took that date and time as the beginning of the first year of the Buddhist era. From that time onwards, Lord Foch explained, April 13th. Don't tell me this is related to the Songkran festival too, I asked. That's right. This celebration day was taken as the beginning of the Buddhist era, which is equivalent to your New Year's Day. In the ceremony to celebrate the Buddha's relics Chedi, the Brahmin donor instructed the people to jointly pour water on the newly built Chedi. This water pouring ceremony is a traditional Brahmin custom that has been practiced regularly to show gratitude, and as a way to worship the sacred things they respect. The general ritual that was originally performed regularly was pouring water on the Shivalinga, or the deities in the temple, using a small ladle to pour water on the deity. When the water flowed over the deity at the base below, there would be small grooves for the water to flow into a basin in front of the deity. After pouring water on the deity, they would take the water at the base to keep as sacred water, for mixing in baths or drinking for good fortune. But this method of pouring water on a large Chedi had never been done before. That day, many people poured water onto the Chedi, causing the people around the Chedi to get wet too. Those who went up to pour water were wet when they came down, because April is a hot month. When they finished pouring water on the Chedi, their bodies and clothes were soaked, so they poured water on each other for fun. From that day onwards, on New Year's Day, people would go to the temple to make merit, pour water on Buddha images and parents, teachers, and elders, as a way to show gratitude to those who have been kind to them, and pour water on each other for fun. Continuing until the present day, he explained. Wow. I just learned that Songkran is related to the beginning of the Buddhist era and the Buddha's passing, I commented. Some stories may not have information in history because when they started, it was just a ritual created by a small group of people. But if the story of this small group of people is beneficial to the way of life of the majority of people, even if this story is just a ritual that you all organized yourselves, especially the matter of specifying the starting date of the Buddhist era, which at that time already had a way of counting days and times, according to the lunar calendar, which is counting in cycles using the 12 zodiac system, which is a counting system related to astrology. Therefore, this unit of counting has a cycle that repeats every 12 years. For example, if you were born on the first day of the first month in the year of the rat, but if another child is born on the first day of the first month in the year of the rat 12 years later, they would be considered one cycle apart. Using this method causes historical inaccuracies because when a long time passes, hundreds or thousands of years, we won't know when this child was actually born. This is the reason why the Buddhist era counting system became a standard and was widely accepted later, using the year of the Buddha's passing and the celebration day of the first Chedi as the starting point, he explained. That's how the story is. Lord, did the Buddha's journey for Akita to follow, along with making symbols for Buddhism to take roots throughout the region, end at Kozhikode? I continued to ask. Not yet. I just told you that arriving at Kozhikode was just a halfway point because this is Fire Asoka's hometown. After traveling for almost a year, the Buddha took this opportunity to rest from exhaustion and plan the next journey. Because from now on, it would be a journey to major kingdoms with highly developed religions. The cities he had passed through were mostly not very prosperous, but starting from Sri Vijaya city, which is a densely populated city and a commercial area, a connection point between the kingdoms in the south. This place was both a stopover and a meeting point for trading goods. This city was almost 2 kilometers wide and almost 4 kilometers long, had a good economy, and had the Brahmin donor, who was famous for his magic and invincibility. Therefore, this city had many soldiers or warriors who applied to be disciples at the Brahmin Donna's school. And this city was also the largest source of casting small bronze deities, used for worship in homes, which were sold to many kingdoms. Therefore, the Buddha had to plan carefully before traveling. To avoid conflict, he explained. And what did he do? I asked. In practice, what was done mostly didn't change much. Hair relics were still buried in various places deemed suitable, and footprints of the Buddha were carved on stones as a symbol that the Buddha had been here, and places related to his history were added, such as his birthplace or the city where he was born, the place of enlightenment, the place of the first sermon, the first temple, etc., because Phaya wanted to remind future generations that there really was a Buddha here. He explained, "Oh, that's exciting. Does that mean I'll know the locations of the birthplace, the place of enlightenment, and the place of the first sermon?" I asked immediately.